Peace, infinite waters, diving deep once again. Breathing in that beautiful prana. We're in nature. How to start absorbing better energy. If you are an intuitive empath, it's not easy. You're going around the city, taking in all of that energy. That's what I've had to deal with. And what I've found is that there are so many ways to start receiving more harmonious energy. I have found that being open is the secret. Are you open or closed to receiving energy? Because over the last 3 years, I have met wonderful people only because I have changed how I feel about myself. There was a time where it was hard for me to look in the mirror. Now I have mirrors everywhere. Life is good. When you start accepting who you are, when you start loving who you are, it's a lot easier to start absorbing better energy. I talk of energy centers. I received a question about how to cope with city life. When I am in LA, the UK, Ethiopia, Brazil, it doesn't matter where I am going to find those energy centers. That is placing myself in an environment which complements my own energy. Many of us, we don't see that we are choosing where we place ourselves. It is a conscious choice based on our belief systems that is shaping our entire human experience. A lot of people complain about where they work. Instead of complaining where you are, move in the direction of where you desire to be. That's what helped me along my journey. I stopped being a victim. I started to take responsibility for my internal condition. And we have the internal energy centers, and this is governed by the kinds of foods we are eating, if they are high vibrational plant-based foods or nonsense junk food, by the kinds of music we are listening to, because the kinds of music we are listening to affects how we feel. Music is energy, and we are taking in that. But we have to ask ourselves, what kinds of seeds are we sowing within ourselves? Many of us, we're talking about ourselves in not a favorable way. So what I do is that I let go of all of the harsh judgment I have about myself. I do this through meditation, daily meditation, even if it's just for 5 minutes, but it's wonderful when you can do something which brings you more harmony on a daily basis. Where you are is everything. Whenever you go around the city or your local village, if you observe everything you see before your eyes, there is a pattern, there is a shape. And that's why sacred geometry is so powerful in learning about how to absorb better energy. because where there is space, there is energy. A lot of these cities, they are full of everyone trying to rush to the same place at the same time. And guess what? We call this normal. You may have to be alone. And there's a difference between being alone and being isolated. Being alone is where you reconnect back to the wholeness of who you are. When you are isolated, that is when you are separate from who you are. So I started to absorb better energy when I was okay with being alone. That's a great paradox. We are never alone. We are all connected. And that is why I love to keep a close circle. People that you can trust. I can only count them on my hand, but it's worth it. But when we see that external energy centers exist, and we have to ask ourselves, why are we there? Because it all serves as a mirror. How we feel creates the kinds of conditions we attract. I say it's all about taking back our power. Where are we placing our thoughts? How much time and energy are we investing in things that aren't serving us? What I love to do is focus on what makes me feel good. That is not selfish. That is loving yourself 100%. That is why I can share so much, because I'm always bursting full of energy. I'm exercising, I'm doing yoga, but guess what? I'm still learning, because I realize there is always more. I don't focus on the goal, I concentrate on the journey. I'm all about enjoying the process and the experience. But it all boils down to my favorite saying: let love guide you, not fear. It's so easy to be distracted, to wrap ourselves in drama, but no energy is being created off a high frequency. However, when we start promoting what we love, when we start doing what puts a smile on our faces, by embracing more gratitude consciousness, for me, that is how I have started to absorb better energy. Because so many times we refuse ourselves, we deny ourselves happiness, which is perfect equilibrium. That's all it is, just harmony within. Many of us feel life should be harder. I realize it doesn't have to be, because if you just focus on one possibility, you've got a very narrow mind. I say there are infinite possibilities. Through that, I start absorbing better energy because I feel good. I don't feel trapped. I realize opportunities exist everywhere, but it's all about changing how we see ourselves to start changing how we see the world. What has liberated me along my journey is refusing for illness and disease to have a place in my consciousness. That's why we have to be mindful if we are always talking about how bad our situation is, because then we are absorbing the energy we are creating. I say, just the simple act of always looking on the brighter side of life does wonders. At the same time, we must not be afraid to delve into the shadow land, because in our darkness we become illuminated. So it's a great balance that will help us in becoming the greatest version of ourselves. I say we have things which recharge us and things which deplete our energy. To start absorbing better energy, I am all about recharging myself. So I look at the kinds of people I am connecting with, the kinds of ways I am learning to deal and react to difficult situations. We have no control of what happens to us, only how we respond and how we perceive ourselves, which is everything. I love seeing the power of creative visualization. This is what set the ball rolling for me. Just to see that the imagination, which is the image in action, is the greatest way to start absorbing better energy, because it all starts with a vision. I've seen it. I started with a small idea and now it is manifested. It is growing larger and larger every day, only because of one reason: because I am cultivating it. The love is there. So, in absorbing better energy, we have to ask ourselves, are we cultivating what we most love in life? That's the secret. When we talk of absorbing better energy, ask yourself, are you creating to please people? Is that your intention? To make the whole world fall in love with you? That is not my intention. I create to meet other versions of myself, my reflections. And it's wonderful, because when you express yourself authentically, you can never lose. You live in infinite creation. It becomes evident. You develop this pleroma, which is the divinity of your divine powers, because now you release these unresolved issues, this guilt, this resentment you have towards yourself. That is the number one reason why we start absorbing negative energy, because we are still in the past. We are still in conflict with ourselves. I say the greatest enemy and friend lives within ourselves. That is why I have to watch myself. I have to keep a good eye on myself. Am I treating myself with enough care? Because all of that helps us let go of the disappointments we've experienced. It makes us breathe easy. And this is it. These days, I am not waiting any longer in terms of seizing the day, carpe diem, because none of us know how long we have here. We think we do, but the mind creates the illusions. In essence, we have a gift. we have to ask ourselves, how are we paying homage to this? Because the more you live in the gift, the more treasures reveal themselves to you. It grows larger and larger. I know that people will always think things about me. That's none of my business, because I'm so focused on my own divine purpose, which is assisting other people in becoming the greatest versions of themselves. But I can't do that until I start embodying what I'm talking about, until I start moving into the radical action and living it. And that's what I'm doing. Life is good. Not taking it so seriously, but realizing we came here to play. We came here to be the great one, the great beings that we know we already are. Amnesia. Time to wake up. Hit the alarm clock. Stop right now. What I love about mindfulness meditation is that it puts everything in perspective. You start becoming aware of what kind of energy you are putting out into the universe, because that is the same energy which is coming straight back to you. What I've seen along my journey is that I focus on solutions, on positive energy of a very high frequency. And in turn, I start meeting other people who are involved in the process of personal development. So guess what happens? We end up helping each other and sharing with each other. Let's go back. In 2005, I was putting out a lot of angry energy out there. And that's the same kind of energy I was getting back. The magic and the secret is all about seeing that life is an echo. Whatever we say and the kind of energy we have behind the words is the same kind of energy we receive back. I have seen it firsthand, and that's why every day I am smiling, because when you take time just to slow down, you realize that life is not only simple. Nature is very peaceful. It never rushes, but everything gets accomplished. Many of us, we're like Sonic the Hedgehog, racing and pacing, but the work is never finished. Mindfulness meditation shows you that it's already complete. You are complete. You were born complete. And it's an integration between the soul, heart, and mind. A triple fusion of greatness. A triple fusion of your own hidden power. So there you have it. We're in nature, just chillaxing. Do whatever makes you smile at least once a day. What I've done recently, and what I'm doing more and more of, is writing down the wonderful qualities I have. And it's changed my life in a phenomenal way. I say, I have this gift of sharing with the world. I embrace myself 100%. And the more you do that, when you focus on your qualities, now you build them. You build the confidence. You become fearless. You become braver. You become stronger. Connect to the heart space. Breathing in that beautiful prana, that one's for you. Infinite waters, diving deep once again. Stay well, stay healthy. Peace.